Many believe that God only speaks through dreams, prophecies, or grand events. But those who are truly sensitive to the spiritual world know that when He wants to reach a chosen one, He uses the body, emotions, and even simple everyday situations to draw attention. The Creator doesn't need noise to manifest. Sometimes, a sudden awakening in the middle of the night, or a tightening in the chest that appears out of nowhere, is enough to reveal that something is being communicated in the invisible. If you've been feeling strange changes, sudden restlessness, emotions you can't explain, or situations that seem to repeat without any apparent reason, this is not a coincidence. God is trying to speak to you, and He chooses physical signs precisely because they are impossible to ignore. The body becomes a spiritual instrument, an antenna that captures messages the distracted mind cannot perceive during the day. Throughout life, every chosen one develops their own kind of sensitivity. Some feel the calling through the skin, others through thoughts, others in the atmosphere around them. But all, without exception, experience moments when God touches what is physical to reach what is spiritual. That's why these signs appear so intensely and repeatedly. Because God doesn't want you to keep living on autopilot. He wants to awaken you to something greater. Today we are going to understand clearly and deeply what these physical signs are and why they appear precisely at the times you least expect them. If you've been seeking answers, direction, or confirmation about something you're going through, stay with me until the end. This message may reveal exactly what God has been trying to show you for days, weeks, or even months. I am George, and if you feel that this content makes sense for your spiritual journey, take a moment to follow the channel. That way, we can continue this journey together. Sign 1. Waking up in the middle of the night. When a chosen one begins to wake up in the stillness of the night, usually between 3 and 4 in the morning, something greater is happening. This awakening is not by chance. It is a spiritual calling that occurs precisely when the world is silent and the soul can listen with greater clarity. The early morning hours are when the spiritual realm faces the least interference, and that is why God chooses this moment to draw near to those who need to hear His voice. For many, this awakening comes with a sensation that's hard to explain. Sometimes it is peace, sometimes unease, and other times simply the certainty that you need to be awake at that moment. There is no noise, no distraction, no urgency of the physical world, only the silent presence of something that wishes to communicate. It's as if the spirit were being gently pulled from sleep, so that you can realize something is moving around you. Some people rise with the urge to pray, others with the feeling that they should reflect, and some simply sense that they cannot return to sleep right away. Every reaction reveals that this awakening holds a purpose. God knows that during the day, the mind becomes heavy, and responsibilities separate us from sensitivity. But at night, the inner self opens, and the connection becomes clearer. Those who frequently wake up at this hour are being invited to see what they do not perceive while awake. Matters that seemed confusing during the day begin to make sense. Ideas come effortlessly, and direction appears without the need for noise. The night is the environment where God's voice echoes most clearly within a chosen one. If you've been experiencing these awakenings, do not ignore them. Allow yourself to listen. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and open your heart to what God wishes to reveal. Nothing in Him is by accident, and the simple fact that you wake up at the same time, again and again, is already a sign that a spiritual process is underway. The night is not merely a time of day. It is a door opening to something being built within you. Sign 2. Spiritual restlessness. The restlessness that arrives without any apparent reason is one of the deepest signs that God is trying to get your attention. This sensation is not the ordinary anxiety that arises from daily problems. It manifests as an inner unease that seems to defy all logic, a silent weight that doesn't disappear even when everything around you seems fine. This restlessness appears because the spirit perceives before the mind that something is out of alignment. Many times, it shows up when you are insisting on a path that is not yours, ignoring an inner calling, or moving away from what God wants you to see. When you try to block this perception, the restlessness intensifies, not to frighten you, but to prevent you from continuing down a road that is not part of your purpose. This feeling can also precede important changes. Before a new cycle opens, the spirit prepares, and this preparation often manifests as discomfort. It's as if God were rearranging the pieces of your life, pushing away what must go and making space for something new to enter. The soul senses this movement and tries to alert you. Restlessness is an invitation to look honestly within. Instead of ignoring or silencing it, you should ask yourself, what am I failing to notice? What is God trying to show me? This inner movement is not always pleasant, but it is necessary. It protects you from wrong decisions, harmful relationships, and paths that could delay your spiritual progress. When you respond to this restlessness with openness and reflection, it fades. Peace returns to occupy the space that was once agitated. That happens because restlessness was never a warning of chaos, but a divine touch seeking your attention. God uses discomfort to guide, realign, and strengthen the chosen one who insists on walking alone. Once you finally listen, the heart realigns, the mind calms, and you return to balance. Sign 3. Repeated messages. When God wants a chosen one to understand something specific, He repeats it. He repeats it in different ways at different times, and through means you least expect. A repeated message is never a coincidence. It is purpose. You may hear a phrase in a video, encounter the same topic in a casual conversation, and later see that same idea appear in a text, a reading, or even as a persistent thought. That is spiritual communication. The repetition happens because God knows that human beings doubt, hesitate, and often fail to notice what is important. So He reinforces. He places the same message before you until you finally pause and recognize that it's there for a reason. Nothing that comes from God appears only once, when it is truly essential. He insists because He wants to make sure you understand. These repeated messages usually appear in decisive moments. They may serve as a warning, a confirmation, or guidance. They appear when you need to make an important decision, when you are ignoring a truth, or when God wants to prepare your spirit for what's coming. It is a silent but steady act of care. Repetition also exists to strengthen faith. Each time the same message appears, it breaks a layer of doubt. Gradually, you realize that God is being clear, consistent, and intentional. And that understanding brings security, clarity, and conviction. When something repeats itself before you, do not dismiss it as mere coincidence. Ask God why He is reinforcing it. Repetition is His way of ensuring you don't walk blindly. It is His method of keeping you on the right path and preventing you from ignoring the very answer you've been asking for. God speaks and repeats so that the chosen one does not get lost in their own silence. Sign 4. Unexplained physical fatigue. Fatigue that appears without any apparent cause is one of the most subtle yet strongest signs that something spiritual is happening within and around a chosen one. It is not ordinary tiredness caused by overwork or sleepless nights. It is an exhaustion that arises even after rest, a heaviness in the body that feels out of sync with your actual routine. This kind of fatigue often means that God is trying to slow down your inner rhythm so you can notice what haste has hidden. The body is sensitive to spiritual movement. When something is being reorganized, when cycles are shifting, or when you are about to enter a new phase, your body reacts before your mind. It feels the energy moving, senses that something is being aligned, and that physical awareness shows up as fatigue. God uses this signal to slow you down, to stop you from operating on autopilot and lead you to the necessary pause. This fatigue also appears when you are carrying burdens that are not yours, suppressed emotions, excessive responsibilities, pressures from others, or expectations you place upon yourself. All of this fills your inner space, and your body alerts you that the limit has been reached. The tiredness is a silent plea for you to stop and look at what needs to be released. There are times when this fatigue is a direct result of invisible spiritual battles. When a chosen one is being prepared for something greater, or when they are battling old patterns that must be broken, the energy consumed is intense. The physical exhaustion mirrors the depth of the transformation. God allows it because He knows that without pause, the spirit cannot strengthen. This unexplained fatigue is often an invitation to return to God's presence, to refuel your soul before taking the next step. It is a reminder that you should live not by the rhythm of the world, but by the rhythm of the Spirit. When that weariness arrives, the best thing to do is stop, breathe, and seek direction. God doesn't drain you to punish you. He allows exhaustion to protect you from continuing down a path without purpose or alignment. Sign 5. Doors that suddenly open or close. Unexpected changes, opportunities that arise out of nowhere or paths that close without explanation, are among the clearest ways God uses to guide a chosen one. We don't always understand these sudden shifts when they happen, but that doesn't make them any less purposeful. Open doors and closed doors are direct responses, even when they don't appear so. When a door opens effortlessly, it is God confirming that this is the way. Often you didn't expect it, didn't plan for it, or thought you weren't capable, and suddenly everything flows. People show up, situations align, opportunities appear at the perfect time. This isn't luck. It's alignment. It's God moving the pieces so that you step into what you were called to. On the other hand, doors that close also carry the divine hand. Many times you feel frustrated, try to insist, try to understand, but nothing progresses. And the harder you push, the more blockages appear. This happens because God sees what you cannot. He closes doors to prevent you from entering paths that would drain your energy, steal your peace, delay your mission, or cause harm. Chosen ones often experience both movements intensely because their lives are guided by purpose, not chance. Open doors lift you, closed doors protect you. And when you learn to accept both movements with spiritual maturity, you begin to walk with greater ease and confidence. These unexpected shifts also create space for the new to enter. Many times you only understand the reason for a closed door when the right one finally opens. God never removes anything without replacing it with something better, more aligned, more secure, and more fitting for your spirit. Your role is to observe, discern, and follow the direction being shown, even when it doesn't immediately make sense. Sign 6. Supernatural moments, or significant encounters. There are moments in a chosen one's journey that cannot be explained by logic. They are events that happen at the perfect moment, words that seem to be directed exclusively to you, situations that go beyond normality and leave a mark impossible to ignore. These moments are clear manifestations of God's presence, who uses the extraordinary to reaffirm that He is guiding each step. These encounters can occur in many ways. Perhaps someone you have never seen before says exactly what you needed to hear. Perhaps a deep peace surrounds you in the middle of a difficult moment, without any apparent reason. Perhaps you receive an answer at the exact instant your heart cries out for guidance. None of that is random. It is spiritual intervention. These moments happen because God knows when you need confirmation. He knows your fears, your doubts, and your silent questions. And when He sees you struggling to understand or move forward, He presents signs that surpass human comprehension so that you can recognize His presence. The extraordinary exists to strengthen your faith and remind you that you are not walking alone. Unexpected encounters can also be used to redirect you. Sometimes, a remarkable situation reveals what you weren't seeing, exposes hidden truths, or opens your eyes to something you were ignoring. God uses these moments to break illusions, adjust perceptions, and prepare you for a new phase. Chosen ones experience this kind of event because they carry heightened spiritual sensitivity. They perceive nuances that others overlook, recognize signs that others would call coincidence, and feel the impact of the invisible more intensely. These events are reminders that the physical world is not the only reality. There are invisible movements guiding your path. If you've ever experienced a moment that deeply marked you, that came at the right time and brought clarity or strength, know that it was not accidental. It was an answer. It was direction. It was divine care. Sign 7. Intense and unexpected emotional reactions. There are moments when the heart reacts before the mind understands. A cry that arises without warning, an emotion that overtakes the body suddenly, a deep feeling upon hearing a simple word, or even a tightness in the chest that cannot be explained rationally. For many, that might seem like simple sensitivity. For the chosen ones, this is one of the most direct signs that God is speaking on a deeper level. When God wants to reach regions of the soul that are closed or dormant, He touches the emotions. He reaches what cannot be blocked by logic, by resistance, or by the justifications we build throughout life. Emotions are open doors to the spiritual, and that is why they manifest so powerfully when God is trying to communicate something important. These reactions can appear during prayer, but they can also rise suddenly in the middle of the day, upon hearing a song, seeing a simple scene, reading a passage, or remembering something seemingly small. The emotional impact doesn't come from what happens outside, but from what is being stirred within you. Each tear, each unexpected emotion, is a sign that God is working in a deep space, bringing healing, awakening awareness, or leading you to new understanding. These emotions also reveal that the heart is being reshaped. Sometimes you cry because defenses are being dismantled. Sometimes because something hidden is coming to light. Sometimes because God is confirming what you already intuited. And sometimes because the Spirit feels the divine presence, silent, yet irresistible. The important thing is to understand that these reactions are not weakness. They are communication. They are spiritual movement. They are signs that God is touching areas that need restoration or awakening. And the more the chosen one allows themselves to feel, the clearer the path becomes. Sign 8. Deep connection with nature. When a chosen one begins to perceive God through creation, it is not mere admiration. It is spiritual sensitivity awakening. Nature is a space where the divine reveals itself constantly and quietly. The wind, the light, the sounds, the movement of water, the behavior of animals, all of it becomes a language through which God speaks to the sensitive. There are those who find peace simply by looking at the sky. Others feel answers arise while walking outdoors. Some feel their heart lighten while gazing at the ocean, the trees, or the rain. This happens because nature was created to reflect order, beauty, and balance. 3 elements God uses to realign the spirit of the chosen ones. When you feel a strong spiritual presence while watching a sunset, when you sense something reorganizing within, as you walk through a natural space. This is not mere contemplation. It is your spirit responding to the Creator. It is God drawing your attention to something that the noise of urban life obscures. He uses the harmony of nature to restore what is confused within you. This connection also serves as a reminder of belonging. Nature returns the chosen one to their center, reminding them there is a greater purpose sustaining all things. The cycle of the seasons, the movement of waters, the growth of plants, all reflect spiritual principles that the awakened heart intuitively recognizes. The deeper your awakening, the more intensely you will feel this bond. It is not about romanticizing life, but perceiving that God speaks through what He Himself created. Nature is an extension of the divine voice, and when you connect with it, you connect with the very origin of creation. Sign 9. People sent with precise words. One of the most remarkable signs that God is speaking to a chosen one is the arrival of people who bring exactly the message you needed to hear. Sometimes it's someone close to you, other times a stranger. It can happen during a simple conversation, an unexpected phrase, or advice offered without you even asking. These words arrive with precision, breaking through internal barriers and producing an immediate impact. When God wants to reinforce something you are ignoring or confirm something your heart already suspected, He moves people. It's not manipulation, it's direction. He inspires someone to say exactly what you didn't have the courage to admit, or what you had been silently praying for. Often such messages come with a sense of peace, clarity, or even reverent awe, as if your spirit recognizes that it did not come from flesh and blood. These encounters happen when you are about to make important decisions. God uses people to illuminate what is hidden, to guide you in moments of confusion, or to strengthen you when circumstances aim to weaken you. Sometimes a simple sentence has the power to reorganize your thoughts, lift your spirit, and open your eyes to something you were not seeing. The chosen ones recognize this kind of intervention because they can feel the difference. It's not just someone speaking. It's as if God Himself were using that voice to reach something deep within. And even if the person doesn't realize the impact of what they said, you do. You feel it. And it continues to echo within you for a long time. These precise words are reminders of direction, signs of confirmation, and living testimonies that God is accompanying every step of your journey. When someone appears with a phrase that unexpectedly touches your soul, do not call it an accident. It is an answer. It is care. It is the divine hand guiding you with precision. The chosen ones are able to perceive these signs when they begin to pay attention to what is happening around and within themselves. There is no need to force anything, but it is essential to develop sensitivity to what escapes the common pattern. When something repeats, when an emotion arises without apparent reason, or when an event captures your attention, the chosen one must learn to pause and observe. These details, which often go unnoticed by most, may carry the answers that God wishes to reveal. Another important point is to cultivate moments of silence. A restless heart can hardly recognize a divine sign because an excess of inner noise blocks spiritual perception. When the chosen one creates a space of calm, whether in prayer, reflection, or simply in deep breathing, He allows God's messages to become clearer. It is in these moments of stillness that the spirit becomes more receptive and can capture what daily life tries to conceal. The chosen ones must also learn to observe patterns. God rarely speaks only once. He confirms, repeats, and reinforces. When something appears more than once, whether a phrase, a verse, an intuition, or even a persistent discomfort, it should not be ignored. These patterns reveal the path that God is illuminating. The chosen one who learns to recognize these repetitions develops discernment and begins to walk with greater spiritual confidence. Finally, it is important that the chosen one trust what they feel. God speaks to the heart, the mind, the body, and through circumstances. Sometimes the answer comes as peace, other times as restlessness. Sometimes as a precise word spoken by someone, other times as a door that closes. Observing these signs requires trust, for God does not need to explain every detail. He guides gently, and it is up to the chosen one to realize that when something touches the soul deeply, it is not coincidence, it is direction. When a chosen one understands that God speaks in many ways, everything around them gains new meaning. The signs cease to seem like coincidences and begin to become guidance, invitations, and confirmations. Nothing is random in the life of one who carries purpose. Every unexpected awakening, every deep emotion, every door that opens or closes is part of an ongoing communication between the Creator and the soul He guides. True transformation happens when the chosen one decides to stay alert, cultivating silence, sensitivity, and openness to hear what cannot be perceived by ordinary senses. Recognizing these signs is about building a more intimate relationship with God, where trust grows stronger and the path becomes clearer. Even in moments when answers seem distant, the chosen one understands that God continues to speak, directing and preparing the ground for the next step. The spiritual journey becomes lighter when one realizes they are not walking alone, and that heaven always finds a way to reach the one who has been called. If this message resonates with what you are experiencing today, share in the comments. Which of these signs have you already identified in your life? Your experience may strengthen other chosen ones who are also seeking understanding.